the first straddle. We are going to see him put in the raise here. Love it. Love to see that. 3-bet squeeze. Trick Time says that's what we're talking about, man. JD, very defensible hand. Gets to see a flop in position. Kowzy with a very pertinent prediction. JD will have the highest VPIP he's ever had on stream. Players to his right don't open much, and players on his left don't 3-bet and 4-bet much, except for Trick Time, of course. Yeah, we'll see how he adjusts. I do like JD's decision to flat call here with Jack 10. Jack 10 can make the nuts, I think, almost more than any other hand. So let's see what the flop brings us. How about a gutter ball for JD, and how about the second pair for Moneymaker? The range advantage does check it over to JD here. JD's going to have plenty of queens in his flat calling range, as well as diamond draws that are never going to go anywhere. So Moneymaker has too much showdown value to turn his hand into a bluff, and there's probably not a lot you can gain too much value from. So I like the check call. Ace on the turn. Ace of diamonds, bringing in the flush draw. Moneymaker can't be super excited to see that card. Checks over to JD one more time, who picks up double gutted. Double gutter to the nutter. Checks it back. I like the check. And how about 4 diamonds? How about Moneymaker rivering a 10 high flush? Always awkward spot to be in with a flush as middling as 10 high on a very dynamic board texture such as this one. 4 diamonds out there. JD now, I think, deciding whether or not to run a big one here. I think the only way he's going to get it done is like half pot to a jam here, and he does oblige. 3/5 pot. Looks like he thought about it for quite a long time. Moneymaker, wow, Moneymaker makes the call, dude. Wow, man, what a call with the 10 high. But didn't even really think about it that long. What a call, that's such a good call. Not the ultimate straddle. I think if he was in the last straddle, he probably put in the call. And Zane, very similar hand, coming right along, queen 10 offsuits. How about top 2 pair? Good kicker for Zane. Checks it over to Trick. Trick has a pretty mandatory continuation bet here. 425. Just over a 3rd pot. I like it. Zane obviously going nowhere just yet. I like just a flat call here. Helping out the dealer. Love it. Making change. Brick. About as bricky as they get for the turn card. Brings in a backdoor diamond draw, though that isn't especially relevant. Zane checking it over to Trick one more time here. Honestly, I think this card is good enough for a double barrel. And Trick Time is going to agree with me. 1275 is the bet. Definitely putting Zane in a spot here. Trick, having the range advantage overall on this board, has jacks, queens, kings, aces that Zane does not have. Though I don't think Zane can fold just yet. Does come right along. I think it's pretty hard for Trick to think Zane has anything less than a 10 here. And how about a 6 on the end? All the draws brick. Zane going to check it over. Only way Trick's going to win this pot, I really think, is if he like ships it here. He'd have to just straight up ship it on Zane. He is going to go for the triple barrel bluff. Ace king, big bets. Let's see what we got here. Zane Though it may not seem like it, he's got kicker problems. Trick Time still has a lot of ace-10, king-10. Facing this triple barrel, that's why these plays are so good on board textures such as this, especially when all the draws brick. Even if you have top pair, like, unless you're willing to call down for your stacks, man. When Trick uses a very value-heavy size, such as this 3/4 pot, it's rough. It's such a rough spot to be in. This is not an easy call by any means, though of course we get to see all the cards. Doesn't look like Zane is a believer. Putting those chips off to the side. Makes the call, man. Trick Time showing ace high. Zane taking it down, man, for that third blind. It's essentially I guess it'd be a fifth blind in this game. Winnie waking up ace jack of diamonds on the button, and JD picks up the ladies in the small blind. Going to put in a standard 4x raise here. We've seen him do this a lot lighter than with queens, and Winnie's got a hand to call with. I don't think Winnie can go anywhere just yet. He and JD sitting very, very deep, both with roughly 17K in their effective stacks. Flat calls here, I like that, the best. Ooh, this is an action board if I've ever seen one. Nut flush draw for Winnie. Second pair and range advantage for JD does continue. I like it. Your opponent's not going to wake up with a king often enough to justify not continuing here. There's still plenty of things you can get called by for value. Ace X. Diamond draws. Something like pocket 10s, pocket jacks that might play this way. Brick on the turn. 3 of hearts. JD, second pair. I think you can go either way here. It's very close. I think I prefer to see a check in this exact spot, and JD does oblige. 3-1, and he does continue. I like that a lot. Could potentially be putting JD on his exact hand or a similar ace-x holding, unpaired, potentially jacks, potentially tens that would play this way. JD facing his bets. I think you gotta call one more time. And how about the nuts for Winnie? How about he spiking it? Spikes it. Nut flush on the river, though JD does not have a hand that is liable to pay him off. 1.2x the pot. Looks like he is counting it up. Seeing right where he's at, SPR-wise, which stands for stacked pot ratio, for those of you that don't know. Aloof Meatloaf, $5 super chat. Why did you stop saying my guy? I love to hate when you say that. Well, sorry, my guy. I'll be sure to say it as much as possible so you can continue to love to hate it. And Rooney betting near full pot here. Leaving himself with just a little behind. Ginny has 0 fold equity. And a bit of a spot here. Basically a pure, utter bluff catcher. Does let it go though. Says nice hand, and I think that is the correct play the vast majority of this time on this run out. You know, showing a card keeps people entertained at the table. You can potentially have people make mistakes later because you showed a certain hand. And wow, how about Rom flopping trips, bro? Trip Kings for Mr. Rom. Is BMG going to continue here? I think this is a pretty standard continuation, honestly, when you flop top 2 pair on a paired board like this. And Rom obviously going nowhere. Just a flat call, like that play the best. And oh no, how about quote-unquote top boat for BMG. Picking up that on the turn, and Rom spiking quads. Rom's got quads on the turn here. I would really love to just see a flat call Stack to pot ratio is going to be low enough on the river you can get all the money in with a raise if your opponent does continue to barrel. BMG probably just wondering if he's chopping. Puts out $2,000, essentially a blocker bets, and Rom obviously with the nuts, uncounterfeitable, had the check mark all the way. Had like 99% chance to win this hand on the flop, 100% chance to win on the turn. Gotta ship it in here, bud. There is no reason to do anything less, of course, unless you and the aggressor are really, really good buddies. And here we go, all in. Gonna go for the max here. BMG can't love this. It's this is such a rough spot to be in. It's just like, man, do you really have pocket eights? Or do you really have that fourth king? It's so hard for you to call just a chop in these spots, but it's also really hard for Rom to have quads here, especially in a straddle battle, man. What do you even do? This is such a rough spot to be in, man. It's just the perfect run out for Rom to get paid the absolute maximum with quad kings. It's rare that there are spots to get paid off with quads, and this is one of them.
That's 6,000 and then
I think we can all relate to the pain we're seeing on Mr. Green's face here, facing this jam for your entire stack on this river card. It really is terrible whenever you fold a boat here and then you're showed ace-5 of diamonds or something like that. It's just such a rough spot to be in. And given that it's hard to call for a chop, there are, like, you can bluff with damn near any two cards in this spot, and it's going to be profitable a lot long term because you shouldn't be calling here just to chop up the dead money. Like, if you're calling just to chop, that's typically in the long run a losing play. I relate so much to the mannerisms I'm seeing Mr. Green make here. It's just such a painful spot. You're like, what in the world are you doing this with, sir? What bluffs do you have? So many. Do you really have that last king? It's so unlikely. There's 3 in front of me. Oh, dude, what a massive fold. I love it. I love seeing that. Wow. Going 4 ways to the flop here. $10 in the door, followed by a 7. So how about middle set for Wooney on an ace-high board? This is like the stuff dreams have made of. Middle set on an ace-high board.
yeah, it's outside of time.
Wooney going to put in the raise here. I think given the dryness of this board texture, I would probably just flat call. But BMG just so happens to have a hand strong enough sitting in the middle of his range to continue with. And how about just like the ultimate gin card, turning a straight flush, BMG literally going nowhere. Picks up every single possible out in the deck. We are going to see money piled in this. There's no way we don't see an all-in. And if we don't, I'm gonna be a little mad about it. If I'm honest here. Did I say middle set? Bottom set. Good God. Aloof me, aloof. You're keeping me honest, bud. I appreciate it. Yeah, the card was in the middle. That's what I meant. All right, guys. All right. All right. Bottom set. You know what I meant, okay? And we're going to continue on this turn card. I like it. BMG obviously going nowhere at all. Spikes it. Dude, what? Spikes the jack. Runner, runner, nothing funner. Donks. I think that is absolutely a great play here. There are a lot of things you don't want to check back. You can balance this really well with a lot of bluffs. Once the 4-liner comes in. And if your opponent does check back bottom set here, bottom set, then it's just an absolute disaster. So I really love BMG's decision to get the money in immediately so that Rooney could potentially make a costly mistake. We're seeing the money go in the middle. Rooney in an awful spot here. Just a terrible spot. So he says, how can I fold?
It was a long segment. It was like 5 minutes long.
He had the chips in hand. Looked like he was about to just ship it in. Chips in hand, typically not an indication of folds. And he's sitting incredibly deep. Calls it! BMG getting the max! Dude. Wow. He says, how many eights do you really have there? How many queens do you really have? Trick Time says, I've got a hand that works well as a 3-bet bluff. King Jack of spades. Wake up with something or get out. BMG. I love BMG's very casual calls there. I didn't even see Jim V still in the pot. 10-9 offsuits. Looks like he is coming right along for a bit of some gamble in position. 10-9.
What is wrong with this fucking guy?
Everybody with a pretty big piece of the equity here pre-flop. Let's see what the flop brings us. 9 in the door. 10-9 holding up. Top pair. Reasonable kicker. No club in hand. Trick Time says, let's get it. Let's get it. Love the action. Love the movement. Staying in shape. Wow, BMG snapped with the eights, man. And Jim V actually in a really rough spot here. Top pair on this board. Does put in the call. Currently has the best hand. Let's see if he maintains that on both the turn and the river. And turns trips. How about that? How about he just turns trips? Trick Time knows that's an awful card for him. BMG going to check it over. Jim V. And we see a half pot. I didn't realize just how big this pot had gotten. Half pot size bet from Jim V. And a wow, snap call from BMG says, you can't have an 8 that often, bud. Can't have an 8 that often. 4. How about a boat? That's just like the worst card for pocket 8s. It's so bad. I mean, he was already behind a 9. But now, behind a 4, all the clubs come in. And Jim V going to ship it here. Pretty natural ship, especially given the SPR. Very, very low. I actually think I would have preferred it on the turn. Try and keep all those draws in before they brick. Though this was like the most beautiful river card ever. It brings in the club draw and double pairs the board, giving Jim V top vote. BMG not loving this top 2 pair. Everything comes in though. It's like, I just got these chips, man. Oh, wow. We see a crying call from the pocket 8s. Jim V. Dude, getting all his money back after running a bluff. Wow, what a call, man. What a call with the 8s. Pure Bluff Catcher says, I don't think you have it, sir. 3 ways to the flop. Let's see what the flop is going to bring us. How about a 9 in the door for Glue? Overpair the Looney, and nothing but a backdoor queen high flush draw from Mr. Brian Green. Looney obviously going to c-bet this board 100%. 300. Glue can't go anywhere just yet. In fact, it wouldn't even be like crazy to put in the raise there. And wow, how about BMG putting in the check raise with 2 overs and some backdoor. Rooney going to make the flat call facing this raise here. Galoo cannot be loving this. Once you face a check raise and then a flat call in between, it is awfully strong lines to be taken by your opponent. Somebody's got an overpair. Someone might have a 3. How about an 8 on the turn? BMG picks up a gutter and is not slowing down for even a second. Puts in just over a half pot size bet. BMG is ripping basically a 3 here. Could have a lot of ace-3, 3-4, 5-4, etc. And Rooney going to get the check mark now. A lot of the draws bricked off. BMG only got one move left if he wants to take this one down. And he does indeed ship it. Even though Rooney's getting kind of a good price to call here, it's a rough spot. It really is. Brian could have a 3. Could have a lot of 3s here. Could have ace-3, 3-4. We saw him play 7 deuce. Seen him get in there a little light, even from the blinds. So he's liable to have maybe even a little more 3s than most players. Basically a 3 or nothing, though. Maybe you could have pocket 9s. Pocket 9s can potentially play this way for sure. Rooney now staring down the barrel of a $3,600 bet on this river card with an overpair. I think a lot of the time you have to call here. If your opponent wakes up with a 3, it's kind of like so be it, or if he flopped it, kind of like so be it. It's because like it's such a hard fold in this spot. You're good far too often when all the spade draws brick off. There aren't really any straights available. Certainly not the 2 players I expected to see make it to this river. I expected this to be a battle between Galoo and Rooney, especially on this run out. Galoo has saved himself a lot of money, or rather, Brian has saved him a lot of money by putting in that check raise. Definitely a rough spot to be in. And does make the call. Makes the call. Brian, I think, said good call shows. Queen high, pocket 10s. Gonna get the max here. Huge pot, 13.5K, sliding over to Rooney. Taking it down with a beautiful call there on the end, picking off the bluff from Brian Green. Damn near got it through, sir. Love the heart and the play. BMG flat calling the queen 4 of spades in the big blind. And we are seeing a squeeze play here from Mr. Rom to 1,000. I'm actually very surprised we didn't see him go larger, given that there are multiple people interested in this pot. He's out of position. I would have expected upwards of 1,500.
I want to ask Tim to come. He's out of town.
And Galoo says, I'm glad I only put in $50 and folds the king 10 offsuits. Trick time going to make the call here. And now fold all the way around to BMG. Very confused. I only see... Oh, but he does call... Oh, that's right, he needs chips. He's waiting on chips. All right, so BMG in there with the queen 4 of spades, calling Rom's 3 bets. 3,000 in the pot. How about a huge flop for BMG? Queen high flush draw. Trick time smashing top pair. Backdoor hearts, and Rom with the range advantage. Let's see if he actually wakes up with something here. Huge bet from, I thought it was a 2K bet. Yeah, 1,600 from Rom, half pot, pretty standard. Wouldn't even be crazy to go a little smaller. Trick time puts in the flat call, going nowhere. And BMG ships it immediately. Boom. 5K in the middle. 5K in the middle with the queen high flush draw, man. Rom with pocket 9s here. Not loving that. Can't be loving that by any means. Facing the 9s. I think you certainly got to fold here, unless you can put a stone read on Brian Green that he is on a draw of some sort. You could then potentially raise to isolate to price trick out of the pot. However, that would require an exceptional read on Rom's part. And it is also possible that Brian Green just has a set here, given that he double called in the blinds. There's a lot of pocket pairs doing this, potentially.
I'm trying to fucking win at poker right now.
You heard it. Jim's trying to win at poker right now, aren't we all, sir?
I just bought $6,000 off to you. You get on the phone and fucking shut.
I love the table mics. Gotta love them. Wow. Wow, and Rom. Shipping over top to isolate, dude. That is insane. With Trick still in the pot. I'd have snap folded these nines, bro. Wow. That is crazy. Trick in a just absolutely horrible spot. Horrible spots. Oh my God. What a play. Some sick action we're seeing in this hand. Trick time in just the worst spot ever. He has to fold. Like, he has to fold, man. What else can you do at that point? Oh my God. We are now seeing a run out. Nines in the lead by only a squeak, man. Just hoping that no queen or spade or runner straight cards come out. Brian Green with so much equity in this pot for having queen high. Man, what a play. 5 on the turn gives every out in the deck for Brian Green. Ace on the river. Wow. I cannot believe he just runnered the straight, dude. What? What is that hand? What did I just see? Not slowing down even for a second, opening up Jack-9 of spades in the +2. I like the open with Jack-9. Rob going to put in the flat call, suited wheel ace. Early position open. Definitely prefer a flat call over a raise. Jim V, King-10 of clubs. Why not? Let's get in there. I say why not like he shouldn't call. That's pretty standard call here, especially in position. Glue, 6-5 offsuits. Trick time not going to finally look at his cards. Nothing. Stone nothing. Queen 7. Though he has not folded yet. Says, give me in the middle, boys. Going 4 ways to the flop. Oh my God. Wow. What a flop for trick time. Top 2 pair. Jim B flopping the king high flush, man. What? What do we want? We want a $40,000 pot is what we want. The 2 biggest stacks in this hand, both flop, incredibly strong hands. Let's see the money go in, all right? How about a 7 on the turn? 7 on the turn, 1 time, just 1 time. If there's ever a time, put the 7 diamonds out there. That's not the one. Right suit, but like wrong, number. Donnie. Trick gonna check it over one more time to Jim V, who's got the effective nuts. If someone wakes up with the ace high flush here, that is a cooler. They get your money. Can never fold a king high flush unless, of course, the 4-liner comes. Wow, is Trick really thinking about folding here? He's not. And in fact, he is sneakily grabbing a lot of chips, it seems. And the big reveal. Puts in the check raise, man. Here we go. This is how you get 40K in the middle. Trick gonna raise it up. 4.1 thousand. Jim V saying, what in the heck? I'd really like to see just a flat from Jim V. There's not much that's going to call you that's better if you jam over top. And also your stack depth is like gigantic, so I like just a flat call for sure. And he obliges. We are now seeing a massive pot brewing. 10.1 thousand in the middle. 8. Oh, man, come on. You couldn't put the 7 out once? Not one time, Donnie? Oh, it's okay. After getting called on the turn, this is a rough spot for Trick to be in. Do you go for thinner value here? Is a queen, the worst queen, really going to call you if you barrel this? or do you check to induce bluffs, though obviously Jim V not bluffing. And I don't even think he has many bluffs given the line. So if Trick Time checks and Jim V barrels here, there's not a lot of bluffs that line up well with that, balance-wise. Trick in a very rough spot, thinking about it. He's going for the value. He is going for it. Let's see, man, if he makes it like half pot, like, wow. 2/3 pot, roughly. How much did he say? 8.8 thousand. Huge river bet here from Trick Time. Jim V saying, how much I got left? How much can I shove? Oh my God. This is such a bananas hand. Huge pot, 18.9 thousand in the middle. I can't imagine Jim V's going to do anything else other than ship it in here. That is what I would love to see. Counting up his chips, seeing just how much he's got left. Pretending like he's contemplating a call when I imagine he's just going to rip it in. Come on, Jim. You know you want to. All in. There it is. Boom. Trick now. His face says, not the words I wanted to hear in this spot. Trick with 2 pair, queens and 7s, facing a jam here from Jim V. And now he's being given like such a massive price. Like he has to call like 7K more to win a pot of 41,000. Like, oh my God. Like, how? I mean, obviously, facing this line, like you can't think 2 pairs good often enough. But it's whenever you're facing, whenever you have that good of odds, it's like it's hard to fold any 2 that you have. Like if you have a pair, it's hard to fold. Oh man. Biggest pot of the night we're seeing here. Another 6.5 thousand to call for a pot that would end up being just over $40,000. He's getting almost 7-1 on a call. Trick Time gonna let it go. Wow, man. $34,000 pot sliding over to Jim V. $14.1 thousand profits for flopping the flush, man. Does, in fact, get a little sticky icky. Coming right along, heads up to the flop. Drawing to a 7. How about a king right in the door? Just giving Jim V top pair. Best kicker. Trick Time, though, we might actually see him come along here with the nut hard blocker. Not with the intention of thinking he's going to make the best hand, but potentially bluffing later on any heart run out. So Jim V betting half pot here. Not going to give Trick the price I think he needs to come along to make this play.
Now I don't know what the fuck he has.
Did we see a raise? Is that what we saw? I don't understand. Oh, just a flat call. Okay. Interesting. Queen of diamonds on the turn. Both players pick up a straight draw to a chop. So, of course, Jim honestly probably does probably not love the queen there. The main value target you have with ace king is king queen. And it goes check check. Check check here. Give me a heart river one time. How about a diamond instead? Jim V, once this goes check check on the turn, I'd like to see a thin value bet here, probably something of about $1,000 would be nice. Boom. Called it. I'm on point tonight, y'all. Bets 1,000, trick time. Nothing but ace high in a dream. Will we see him put in the raise here? Will we see him bluff Jim V to the max? Will we see him get some of his money back? He's certainly contemplating the idea of it. I don't believe he thinks his ace high is good by any means. All in. There it is. Yes. Oh, dude, such a good bet. Oh, I could not care less what Jim V has. Got it through, dude. Wow. Awesome. Awesome play by Trick Time. He beat me to it. I was about to say, I think the legit best way to just get him to fold anything is ship it in, just jam it. Oh my God, I looked at my phone for 2 seconds and I wake up and see this. Jim V opening up big slick 200, getting 3-bet by Wooney. First lighter 3-bet of the night, Queen Jack suited. Galoo with, does he just flat call? He flat calls kings. And wow, we see Galoo flat king slow play him in the small blind, dude. And Jim V's probably going to put in the squeeze. And Jim V, I can't keep up with it all, man. I can't. Jim V 4-betting ace king off here to 2.5K, putting in the squeeze. Queen Jack's not loving it.
Yeah, I think it was a basic plan. You can Berlin, I remember.
And Galoo now in a very interesting position here with 2 kings. Honestly, what I would love to see is a back raise. I want to see a back raise jam. I want him to just say, let's go for it. Let's ship it, get all the money in. Oh, dude! Oh, my God! Oh, I called it, dude. I love it so much. But I'm also flipping out because Galoo just back jammed 2 kings, and Jim V's got ace king, dude. Facing this line, how do you fold?
18,090.
How do you fold? How in the world do you fold here? Looks like Galoo's just trying to make a move, man. Oh, man. Jim V's brain in an absolute blender here. Jimmy's just like, what do I even do here? What do I even do for a $30,000 pot? He says if I give you queens, I'm flipping it best. Galoo with a little bit of a knowing smile on his face. Man, dude, 16.2K to call for what will be the biggest part of the night.
You want to see one card?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Is it legal?
You want to see one card.
I can't take it back. I'll say I didn't really see that.
I love this. I love this. Showing a card in this spot. I love it. Unfortunately, I think it might get Jim to fold if he sees a king here. Oh, man.
You have ace king, I'm calling 18. You're not going to smooth call the 600 with king. If you have ace king,
Oh, man. I think this sets the record for the longest tank on the stream, though. That is not a criticism. Shows the ace. Shows the ace. Oh, my God. I love this, man. This is so much fun. In the meantime, thanks for subbing Paul Lim. Thanks for subscribing Fancy Clown. Folds it. Oh, finally gets the fold. Good fold, Jim. Shows the king.